Bandits Along the Silk Road, Everywhere You Think They Aren't, by John. World Cultures, Period 7. Bandits appear everywhere along the Silk Roads and are extremely smart about the way they raid caravans. The bandits had their own culture and rules to follow, in a way, but there were always people trying to stop them, like the Chinese emperors. The bandits of the Silk Road occupied a lot of the Silk Road, but mainly the areas near what is now known as China. The bandits would hide out in oases and wait for a traveling caravan to come. The oasis hideouts could be almost anywhere along the Silk Road. The Taklamakan Desert was also another spot where the bandits would hide because of some of its special abilities at night. The Chinese would set up bases along the areas of the Silk Road, like the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall was a good example of these bases, as not only did it help keep out the invaders, it would help keep the Silk Road safe within a couple of miles. It was mainly meant for the defense of the country from invaders, though. The bandits of the Silk Road were extremely good with the terrain and the roads. The bandits could be consisted of renegade commoners wanting to get a good grip on the economy, or the bandits could also live in local villages. The main reason why the bandits had all of the knowledge of the terrain was because they had lived in the areas of the banditry for almost all of their lives. The Chinese dynasties had a part to play in the various methods of preventing the bandits from raiding the caravans. The Han Dynasty took the greatest stand on preventing the bandits from leading raids. The local town people would also guide the travelers to safety in particularly rough areas to help keep all of the bandits under control. The bandits had superior knowledge of the terrain, possibly from living in it on the areas that they prowled. The bandits would take over the caravans, mainly at night. The caravanserai, motels for camels, were partially used to defend against the bandits. The oases were good places to hide because they had life support and water. The caravans made stops at them frequently, presenting good targets to the bandits. Chinese dynasties put effort into the local militia to defend against the bandits. The caravanserai were built, the Great Wall of China was made in some places, and forts were set up in certain places along the roads. The forts were not always manned, but they could be useful in an emergency for hiding it. The bandits would take multiple things. The main targets of the bandit were gems like rubies, sapphire, and gold. The bandits would also take objects like silk and tea. The extremes would even involve taking children. The bandits' era stretched many years but was mainly prominent in the early 1600s. The cultural diffusion's majority was mainly in the Han Dynasty time period of China. The time period before the Han Dynasty's time period also had lots of bandits, like the Han Dynasty. The Han Dynasty was a time where the bandits roamed like cattle on a great plain. The time period had a lot of trade with other cultures, causing the bandits to have more targets. The dynasty before also had less prominent and sufficient crime enforcement. That was the reason bandits built up and kept going from the Song Dynasty to the Han Dynasty. A majority of all the attacks came from the less prominent areas of trade on the Silk Road. Those areas were less populated, meaning less chances for bandits to be spotted. The Taklamakan Desert's outer borders was another area because it offered lots of hiding areas for the bandits and oases for living in. The Chinese area of the Silk Road was heavily hit with bandits. The bandits would go to the Chinese area because it contained more traders and less alternate passages for travel. This angered the imperial government, causing defenses to be set up, soldiers were deployed, forts were built, and walls were put up. The bandits would rob the caravans, mainly at night. The bandits, using their knowledge of the terrain, would hide away in areas that the travelers would not see and wait to ambush camps or the actual caravans. The bandits would always be armed. The bandits also took the fact that it was very easy to get lost to their advantage. In an old wives' tale, a traveling group got lost, one person at a time, because it was too dark to see each other. The bandits' main intention to raid the caravans was for the money. The bandits would take whatever the caravans had and redistribute it among their own market. The bandits' market was a black market. The bandits would also kidnap children and sell them into slavery for the money. Jewels were always wanted in the bandit market, so they would take them. Some of the jewels included moonstones, topaz, and even lapis lazuli.